in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. You know I had to bring it to the hood like she Karen Civil when she keep on turning head. Cause when she walk that thing jiggle, jiggle. And we going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back, low, we back again so highly. This that back in my back, low, we back to change the climate. This that back in my back, low, we bring the force like Tommy. Back in my bag flow. Back in my, yeah, back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, I'm back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, back in my bag flow. Back again, yeah, we keep on stacking it, what's happening? Everything in Gucci got me feeling like I'm dapper then. Life has been a movie, yeah, so shout out to the cameraman. Pull up to the scene, it's going down like an avalanche. Steady going up like a travel plan. Homer Simpson face, lucky power plant. Yeah, I'm off that dope, like I'm back again to busy at the Millies. Out on Club Hurst, give the word if it's a cinch, love forgive me. Still having motion, dog, so why would I slow it? Make it rain on them, bust a band, then you throw it. We was steady having it, even at our lowest. High speed road runner, keep my motor going. Hey, people feel away, but they don't show it. Gotta watch the people that's around you, that you grow it. They be coming around you with some plans to steal your moment. Soon as I bust a nut, she be like, baby, where you going? Never slowing down, it's enough to go around. Yeah, you probably know it's then, but really you don't know it's now. Niggas let it show and tell, but all my niggas know me well. It was either chase a dream or go to jail, but none of us ain't going. Going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back, low, we back again so highly. This that back in my back, low, we back to change the climate. This that back in my back, low, we bring the force like Tommy. Back in my bag flow. Back in my, back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, I'm back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, back in my bag flow, Yeah, not for real. Double I. Do or die, you already know. Don't try.
Lights go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharp in Friday night. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. The craft with steady flow. Steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. Karambit steel. Every flick has that cool appeal. The chat goes wild when he reveals a masterpiece you wish was real. Viewers locked in, they can't resist. The flick of steel's a weekly twist. Carving moments, he makes it slick. Juve on streaming, doing the trick.
Warning signs of satanic behavior may be apparent, such as a sudden, bitterly antagonistic attitude towards family and religion, listening exclusively to heavy metal rock music, almost to the point of addiction. When one or more of these warning signs are evident, you should look further for ritual items such as a pentagram or other satanic symbols, black or red robes, a decorative dagger or knife, a chalice or goblet, black candles, a personal diary with a black cover, which is called a Book of Shadows, and copies of publications, such as the Satanic Bible and the Satanic Rituals, and possibly a small makeshift altar. If you discover items such as these, experts advise you contact your local law enforcement agency at once.
That was heavy. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody can hear me. Am I too loud? Am I not loud enough? Is my voice crackling? I can never tell. Happy Friday Night Flicks, everybody. Good to see everyone in here. Neil McKenzie's been a member for 23 months. Hello, brother. I have to give you a quick, quiet man hug. Hopefully, this won't be too loud. If it is, we'll keep it short. I don't know if that was loud or not. Who all's in here? We got Mimo's in the house. We got Crazy Roach, channel member in the house. We got B Shady, channel member in the house. I'm going backwards, so I'm going to start at the top. It'll probably be easier. That way I'll hopefully won't miss anybody. And if I do, I'm not doing it intentionally. So we had Angelo, channel member in the house. We had Brother Marco in the house. Miss Kathleen Smith, channel member in the house. Howdy, AJ. He's in the house. My man, Richard Hopkins, channel member, major contributor to the channel in the house. Good to see you, buddy. We got Ed in the house and a channel member. Howdy, Ed. Good to see you, buddy. We have got, I love it when y'all talk to each other. Blind Woo Fury in the house and channel member saying hey to everybody. Good to see you guys gather. That's why I started a little early, and I always try to get in here before my allotted start time, at least by 5 minutes. That handles true on the channel member live tomorrow. I will try to be in there by 10:55, at least. Burnt Relics in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the man, the myth, the turkey hunting legend himself, Fed Harrison, channel member in the house. Good to see you, Fed. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Everybody, I hope they're looking forward to those of you going to Blade Show. I hope you're looking forward to Blade Show. Mimo's in the house. What's up, brother? I hope to see some of you there. I hope to be there. Plan to be there. Crazy Roach is in the house. Channel member. Ron Ellis is in the house. The man, the myth, and the legend himself. Channel member. What is up, brother? I know he was doing a little traveling back and forth. We got Jim Miller in the house. Channel member. What's up, Jim? Good to see you, buddy. And guys, I haven't posted it yet, but there will be a channel members live tomorrow at 11. I will set that up tonight. Come by, stop by, drop in the magic word, enjoy your day. I'll track you down. Very easy. I try to make it easy. And we had Neil McKenzie who came in and showed his love for 23 months. He got the man hug. Was the man hug loud, or did y'all even hear it at all? I tried to turn it down on the soundboard, but I can never tell because evidently my mix is not y'all's mix. We got a guest joining us tonight. I'm going to pull my knives off the screen. And I'm going to, I pulled the wrong thing off the screen. All right, I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to pull up this gentleman. What is going on, Scott?
Hey, what's going on, Javon?
I had to turn you up. Let me see if I can make this go away. All right, there we go.
There we go. Can you hear me all right?
I hear you great, buddy. How are you doing?
I am good. I am very, very good. No complaints.
Guys, you know Scott from Aries EDC. I had a package come in from, I believe it was from Big Red this past week, and I've got that ready. I'm going to go grab it right here so I can show it off, but I've got it ready to go back to whoever's next tomorrow. The video that released yesterday was a beautiful little knife, the Bloom Cliff. I thought that was the coolest adaptation to an already perfect knife and making it just a different blade. I mean, it feels different. There's the Bloom. Let me grab this. Hold on one second, Scott.
Yeah.
I should be more prepared.
Because that's the Bloom. And the Bloom Cliff was just basically playing with blade shapes and just coming up with something different. So that's where the Bloom Cliff kind of came from, was you had the Bloom. I was playing with something different. It's kind of a warm cliff type of blade. So I just adapted it and had some fun. Very good knife company. What's going on? Hey, that's awesome. Very
Jacob
good knife company in the chat.
Awesome, dude. Good to see you, Joseph. Joseph S. A lot of people coming up. So this little guy right here is basically that guy that you're holding right there, but it's the more of a Wharncliffe blade, right?
Yeah, it's just a different blade shape that I was playing with. Decided to bring it to life.
I absolutely love it. I've only cut cardboard with it and paper, but the design and the way that I love a smooth, like gemless blade spine, and it just gives you so much flexibility about where to get your power in your cut. It's just such a well done knife. Do you have any plans of this getting the production treatment, or are you going to try to keep this? I
don't know. I have. So I don't know. I could.
You don't have to talk about that. I can just imagine that you're getting a lot of interest
because we have that,
right?
And then that's the production Kubi bloom.
But is that available, or is that pretty much sold out everywhere?
No, it's available at Kubi. Unfortunately, the price is a little higher, and the price of shipping is really high. White Mountain Knives. I talked to White Mountain Knives, and they told me they would have some more in a couple weeks, but that was about a week and a half ago. So I'm hoping in the next couple weeks we'll get some more in.
I think it's because I always read up on you, and I think I'd love to talk to you about the methodology, but I think it's great that you allot 5 bills per month and you do that consistently. And I know a lot of guys in the chat, a lot of guys in the community have maybe tried to get your knives, but maybe just gone about it by trying to get them on the drops, trying to be one of those 5 guys.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if there was a way for some of these community members to make contact with you. You don't set it out like in 3 months, I could come up with your 5. Is there just is it because they're not dependable? I'm curious why and I know they sell out really quick, right? So, and I can understand also the reason why you would make a production model available so you can fit some of that demand. But with some of the people that are trying to actively get your knives and rush into the drops, do you envision an ability to change that, not to where you're locking yourself into a person, but maybe giving a first right? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of a way to do it where it works for you and it gives people that are over and over trying to get one, maybe a way to get in line, if that makes sense.
Are you talking about the production model or
no? I'm talking about your one of a kind little knives that you do monthly. Your 5, the 5 that you done. Are you still kind of sticking to a 5?
Yeah, I'm schedule? 5 or 6 a month. And right now, like you said, it's like every other month I'll open up the books for 5 custom builds. So basically, if you're able to get on the books, and I can only pick the first 5 people that reach out to me.
Understandable.
And I try, and I have let other people come in. I think not this drop, but last month I did 6 because I felt bad. Somebody messaged me and on Instagram, but it went into the hidden section because they had never reached out to me before. So I went back and I looked at it and I was like, well, they did get in before these other people did. I just didn't see it. So I went ahead and did 6 blades that month. So
that's more than fair. And when you say custom, someone could come in and say, I would like a Bloom Wharncliffe. It doesn't have to be a knife that's outside of your normal offering. It's just outside of your normal drop for that month.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is you could pick one of my models or one of my patterns,
right?
Which is kind of a better way to put it. And there's like 20 something patterns to choose from. And then you get to, and there's a Cardinal XL.
The XL, this is a fantastic knife. Not to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I really like, because I'm in the middle of working on one right now. But you get to pick a pattern. You get to pick mostly pretty much any handle material you want and some different blade finishes. And you're building the knife. I'm just making it. But you have to pick one of my patterns. You can't come up and say, oh, well, I really wanted this other different type of design.
Where I drew this on a napkin. Here you go.
That's a totally different conversation, because that takes a little bit more time to work through what that's going to look like and design wise. And I have to think of, okay, well, how am I going to do the sheath for that? How are we going to do handles? So there's a lot of other things, and I'm limited to what I could do as well. So, and I've had to tell people that's not going to be for me. You might want to look at somebody else.
You're just not the right match for that particular type of customer in that situation. You got to, I think, Scott, you've got a plan that works very well.
Well, thank you.
And I was always wondering, because I always tell people, because I do this, I'm guilty of it. That's how I used to get every Asher knife I was ever able to acquire on the free market. I could never get them on a drop. I'd have to reach out through Instagram, and a week later, he'd send me a PayPal and he'd send me a knife. And I always tell people, sometimes you've got to just stay in front of these guys and let them know, hey, I love what you're doing. I know you're really busy. I've been doing it with Jacob at Jacob Creates on one of his Hail Marys. I would love, and I understand the economics of building, because I talk to Shayne all the time and you, but building your knives, being able to sell those knives at a given time, reinvest in the business and build more knives. I know it's kind of it's hard to find that balance, isn't it? I mean, that's a whole nother challenge. I bet you didn't even anticipate.
It is. Well, because this time last year, I had come up early to 2024. I was like, I'm going to do 5 customs every month. And within my realm of doing it, the problem I was running into was, because I'm not able to heat treat stainless steel, I would have to send that out. And Peter's, if there's like blade shows coming and anything else, they get backed up and it takes much longer to get the blades back. So what was happening was, I was like doing, let's say, March builds, and then some of that heat treating wasn't coming back in time. And then it was starting to get into April. And so then I'm finishing March and April, but then I had to open the books up for April. And it just became to the point where I was starting to miss things and starting to miss little details. And it felt overwhelming. So
which
then
is
I
the
was
last
like,
thing any artist wants to do. And I try to talk to Shayne about that too. Don't ever put yourself in a situation where it doesn't become fun.
Yeah, and I want it to become fun. And it was starting to become very stressful. So what I did was, I basically, in July of last year, I took a step back and I tried to reevaluate what I was doing. So I came up with the every other month scenario, where 5 builds to get on the books, and then the next month I'll just do whatever I want to do. So
and drop those.
And then I'll do 5 or 6 blades, drop those on my Etsy store. If they sell, they sell. If not, they'll be on the Etsy store for somebody who wants them. And that has just been a very successful cycle that I am very comfortable to do. So that not only gives people opportunity to get a custom, but then they also can get a group of them. Like beginning of this year, I did that group of blooms. I did, what else? I don't even remember. I did the Damascus. I did
beautiful knives, by the way.
Right now I'm in the middle of spikes. For June, I'm gonna have 6 of these.
I love that.
June. So, nice.
And you do a great job with your sheaths too, by the way. I mean, I want to commend you. Ever since the first bloom I tried out, your sheaths are great retention, just done very, very well. And if Jacob's still in here, he does a great sheath too at Very Good Knife Company. One of the best.
Yeah, they do. And he does an amazing job with his. I've got to handle a couple of their knives, and they've all been amazing. I need to get a chickadee is what I need to get. I would love to get a chickadee.
I love the chickadee. I've actually got several I really kind of graduated to what he's doing with the Hail Mary. I think it's just a beautiful knife, and I guess you'd call him a very small batch maker, right? Or would you not? I'm not that plugged into what he drops because I'm not in the market currently.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with him lately. I should, because he's a fantastic maker. I just haven't been keeping up with how he's selling and how he's doing it.
I think he does it primarily through Instagram, even though he has a website. I think that's where he announces it. And I think he does it very similarly, where he'll have a group of 5. And I think he does a Hail Mary in maybe 4 blade styles, like a spear point, a clip point, maybe a couple of others. But it's just a neat platform. And I thought the was neat too.
Is he only doing 5 or 6 at a time?
I believe so. That's what he shows on Instagram. So if you ever look at his Instagram and he's showing you either his blanks, and I think he gets some water jetted. I could be wrong, but when he's showing his blanks or he's showing his finished knives or the knives that are being sanded and whatnot, he usually is like 5 to 7, I think. Yeah. And I could be a little bit off there.
For my every other month builds, I started doing the water jetted stuff too. So
it makes perfect sense. Doesn't it? I mean, does it cost? Don't you think it saves you in time and consistency? Isn't it a smart fiscal decision?
It's a time, because I still have to clean the blade up, but it saves me from having to cut it, shape it, drill the holes, do all of those things. But when I'm getting it, I still have to square all the edges up, maybe get the holes drilled out just by like a very small amount, but it saves me a couple hours of work.
And you're able to keep the same handcrafted nature into what makes it a special knife. The things that the water jet does, the average user not going to appreciate if you put the time in and sand it the right way and use the right belts. I mean, you might as well have it water jetted and spend that time on your grinds, on your everything else you do to the knife. I think it's a great idea.
It's a time saver, that's for sure. Because I still have some here, but yeah, it's definitely like when I do the group of blades that I'll drop on Etsy, those are normally started as water jetted, and I just run from there. So and that's what saves me time, because if the prior month runs into the following month, that's okay, because a lot of work is already done.
Being a custom maker, what would be the downside of every pattern that you reproduce, having it water jetted and still making it an Aries EDC handmade knife? Does it change? Does something change when you're not cutting them out by hand? Because to me, it just seems to be such a no-brainer to have a partner in the States, close to you, hopefully, that can logistically cut your blanks out, because they're nesting your materials more efficiently, and you're getting the same custom hand-worked piece of art and a tool out of it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be able to put every single one of my designs or patterns into a CAD and then just have a bank of every design that I could just be like, oh, I want to do that one. Okay, let me just grab it out of the drawer.
Is that kind of the drawback, is having to get it where you can set it up to do that, where the machine can read it? I'm just curious. I mean,
yeah, because I have Loot. I've said it. Loot. He puts my designs into CAD. So like, I don't know, like the Rock Copper XL. This is not currently in CAD, so I would have to send him a detailed drawing, and then he would end up having to put that in. He puts it into CAD for me in 2-dimensional, which isn't but I pay him to do that.
Sure.
So, and that's, so I have 20, almost 30 patterns. It would just be crazy to try to get every single one of those. And I think I have 7 of my patterns in CAD right now that I could just go to be like, okay, I want to make 5 of these, 6 of these. And
it makes more sense to have those be the popular models that you're seeing over and over and over being chosen, right? And going through that.
It's funny. People ask me, what's the most popular pattern and like, what are you making the most of? And it's all over the place. It's like 1 month I'll do a lot of this, and then the following another month I'll do something completely different. So it's kind of all over. So I can't say there's one design that trumps all the other designs. They've just been
in popularity, or in terms of probably market awareness, you'd have to say the Bloom, just because of the production. I would say the Bloom's probably the most well known now, if it wasn't 2 months ago, right? Or a month and a half ago.
I mean, obviously now it's on the market. I mean, most of the people that follow me have known about the Bloom since you got to handle this one in the pass around, I mean, because that
was about 9 months ago. I was going to tell you about that. That was a beautiful knife, and is a beautiful knife. I love the handle. This little knife is a step up, Scott.
Is it? Okay.
And I only went back and watched the video. I don't know if it's the grind in the blade, or if it's the way that the micarta to me is more pleasing than the acrylic. But I think you're coming a long way in your builds, and because I've got the pedal too, that Paul Mills was kind enough to get for me. But this Cardinal XL, the way you did the carbon fiber with the glow G10, it's just amazing. This video comes out Sunday, and I did it, turned all the lights off where you can see the G10 shining through the carbon fiber, and it's just an amazing knife, and I love the size of it and the double swells. If you'd call that a double swell, I don't know what that grip is called, but for me, it's just perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a name for it or anything. I have the Cardinal, which is more of a 3-finger, and this is just a larger version of that. So that gives you a nice. For me, it's right there at 4 fingers. What's funny about that material is I didn't know it glowed so much with a black light.
Oh my gosh, with a black light?
Yeah. I didn't have I know it doesn't glow in the dark, but if you shine a black light on that material, it shines like crazy.
And it actually, I did it on the video, and it did glow in the dark. The G10 liner and the pins glowed in the dark, because I wasn't using glow fluorescent. I was just using my regular light, turned them all off, charged it up, and it glowed.
That glow in the dark material, the liners and the pins glow, and the bead for that matter,
the carbon fiber,
they glow like crazy. But I didn't know the carbon fiber itself under the black light or whatever, it really shines. Some of the people that have had that have done it in the black light. It's very amusing to me.
Scott, I think you've met Kyle Coonley before. Klingenwek Sharpening. He's a buddy who does a show with me on Friday nights. He comes on and we talk sharpening, knife maintenance, and he talks blade steels and stuff. I think you guys have met before on the show.
Have we? I don't think we have.
We've chatted quite a bit. How you doing, Scott?
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. What's up?
At least in comments, you probably don't know the screen name, but we've talked.
Hey, GeoKnife, what's going on, buddy? Speaking of a really good bar lock I've got one in a case right over here. It comes with rock pattern titanium. It comes with an M390 blade. It is a bar lock knife, great introductory knife, and it comes in at what I consider an introductory price point for M390 and titanium. So if y'all get a chance, check out on Instagram, GeoKnife. They're bringing out new designs all the time. Cool stuff. Good to see you guys.
I would love to get a handle on some of those Geo knives. I've heard a lot of good things about them.
I've only been able to find them on their site. Let me go to it real quick. We'll take a quick peek. Because this knife is $125 from their site. And it is, I've got the knife. I reviewed the knife. I've got a review of the knife. And it is done very well. It's titanium, M390, all stone washed. I don't know if y'all can see that.
That's nice. Yeah.
I mean,
I've seen it, but yeah.
But they've got a lot of new, what I've seen on their Instagram, we'll go there in a second. They've got a lot of new designs. Like this one's titanium and M390 and a very aggressive Tonto.
Yeah.
So cool stuff, and that one looks real thin. But yeah, I like to see people come into the market doing different stuff and doing it at a very good price. I like this clip point very much.
That's one thing I like to do, Javon, is to look at new knife companies to see what they're doing and to try to, see what they're doing and put some light, like the Orbital knives and some of those kind of makers are doing some really cool stuff.
Well, and it's rare to, I think how hard it would be. Kyle and I talk about this, and Shayne and I talk about this, sometimes not in the same agreement, but it's so hard for a new knife company to get out in a marketplace, really, when the marketplace doesn't allow advertising of that good or service. So you kind of got to review, you've got to depend on people to kind of show off your stuff. And I think showing off stuff's different than shilling stuff. Yep. You can turn it into, if you're really enthusiastic about it, like I am about this EMP EDC old, what was it called? The EMP EDC thick boy. I can give a very enthusiastic, I love this knife because I've had it for 3 years and I love this knife. But
it's a chunker.
I can also give a objective review on a knife that's a good knife, but it doesn't touch me in the feels. A great example is the CMB Explorer. It's probably one of the best budget knives I've handled all year at about $60. It's a long knife, about the PM2 size, but it's because of me that I don't get the same level of excitement. With the Geo knife, when I first had it offered to be sent to me, I wasn't that excited because it was a bar lock knife. Yeah. And I didn't understand the build quality. But when I saw the build quality, experienced it, and carried it, it's a fantastic knife.
Yeah.
And for $125,
get it in your hand.
Yeah.
Right?
And
that's got to get it in your hand.
And what they're doing, or what I've noticed that they're doing, is more premium materials. Not just, what's up, Kyle? How'd you chat in your voice? Maybe Kyle figured something out.
I moved over to YouTube just for a second, just to type in there, so that way it wasn't showing up on your name.
Is that the new Kaiser?
Nope.
What is that?
This is the pickled steel Warhog.
Ooh.
So that's that South African company that is really come on with some really cool stuff. So this is the Warhog. So this is the same designer as the Clio. What's his name? Juvan I don't remember his name. But a South African
knife, though.
designer. But you know the
is that in?
What?
What price point roughly is that in?
It's like $60.
Great price point, a budget price point.
I mean, you have D2, aluminum, micarta. It is a bar lock, but like pickled steel, I've been friendly with pickled steel since they came onto the market, and he likes budget knives, and he puts all of his money. Aldo is the company, the guy who runs it, and he's just a knife guy, and he's completely open about everything that they're doing. And he's just a knife guy. Johan Jordan or Jordan.
Yeah, Johan.
Johan Jordan. Yeah, that's.
And they're original looking designs. And what I think is cool in that same vein is you got a lot of these guys that are knife guys before they decide to go into the knife business. And it's, there'll be more options, hopefully, and we'll see more stuff that becomes domestically produced. But right now, I just appreciate the designs that I'm seeing. I appreciate the quality, the fit and finish. And again, unfortunately, I'm not set up to do a ton of edge retention tests, but I hope to do that in the future. I do have a couple of cool knives that'll make Kyle happy. I say this jokingly, but coming in, Kyle, remember Lucky Dog, Andrew Kidd, and David Mary Customs?
Yeah.
Well, Andrew's got another run coming in, and he's got some more little guard dogs, which is the one that I reviewed. But he's also got a new little knife called the Bulldog that looks really cool, small fixed blade that I'm going to get to review probably next week.
I don't have a problem with him. I think Andrew's a nice guy.
Andrew Kidd's a great guy, and I think David's a nice guy. I think I think we were maybe a little bit on the brash side when he was around. I don't remember. So what do you got going on, Scotty, that you're kind of pushing right now? I know you've got Kubi's got blooms on the site, which is great to know because I did not know that.
Yep.
And everything, guys, I don't know if y'all heard this in my Tuesday night, but I got delivered a package that was sent to me for review from a company from China, and they have to put a value on it when it goes through customs. So when the package got to me, I had a COD from UPS where I had to pay out of my pocket because of a tariff. And I put it in one of the YouTube groups and found out that that's happened a lot with Polish custom knives, where somebody's ordered a Herman and it gets to their house and they owe another $150. So
Jeez.
if you see prices that are a little higher than normal, know that could fluctuate.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful, I mean, I really want to get one of those.
Yeah. So these are out, and I have 2 other designs in the works with Kubi right now. The rock copper and the thorn are 2 patterns that I have collabed with them again. So they're going to be putting it out. The rock copper is a kind of a Warncliffe style blade. The handle's going to look the handle style is going to look a little bit different than that. That's my rock copper that I made. And the thorn is a flat back kind of design. Hold on. I have some blanks.
Just a nice little, maybe a hunting skinning knife.
Yeah, so it's just going to be again, small little EDC little pocket buddy. But they have, so I have those 2 are in the works right now. The thing with, I like what Kubi did with the bloom, because I mean, you can compare it to my custom, and it's like almost identical.
They almost were able to one-off it.
They nailed it. I mean, it's exactly what I wanted it to be.
Right.
So
change some things up to make it production, but at the same time, keep the integrity of the design.
Yeah, that's because when you're collaborating with them, you're giving them your design, and they might change something or they might add something. And they send me a drawing or a 3D. Like, I never really got to see this as I finished the product until it hit their website. I got to see a 3D rendering, which I was like, okay, yeah, cool. It looks good. But I never got to see a finished product until all of a sudden it was live on Kubi's website.
Have you been communicating with an intermediary, or are you communicating directly with someone where language is a little bit of an issue?
Yeah. I mean, I'm communicating with somebody at Kubi, but language is an issue. So
you can do that. You can absolutely do that. I didn't know White Mountain was doing that, but I don't know why. I can see why White Mountain was charged with that tariff. I didn't mean to cut you off, Scott. More so than UPS, because the check I had to write was to UPS. Go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's weird.
A lot of it's happening, dude. It's happening all over.
But you have to. I have learned through this process that I just have to be patient and let them do whatever they want to do. It takes time. They're making, I don't know how many they're making, and I need to be. It taught me to be patient. But when I'm able to make my own, I'm not very patient because
gotcha, buddy.
I could just jump out in my shop and make my own. But it's tough. It's tough. But yeah, I have to be patient, and sometimes communication isn't always there. I'll reach out and I might not hear back for a couple days, or not hear back from them at all.
But you know that they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're not a fly by night company.
And they always come back and say, sorry, we're really busy, blah, blah, blah. But, and I get it. They're pumping out so many things. Like they just popped out that new one, the Pixie. It's called the Pixie. Kubi just came out with another little fixie called the Pixie.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, Vosteed came out with a tiny one that's smaller than the drop bear. The small fixies are big.
Yeah,
that's interesting that that White Mountain Knives, being a retailer, mine came directly from an OEM. So I could see how UPS might have gotten taxed with that one. I don't understand how the shipper could become responsible, but I don't understand how tariffs work. I think that sucks. So evidently it's affecting a lot more than just goods coming straight from China. Because I'll tell you this, there was, from my understanding, only one reviewer last month that got the full Kaiser line, where they're like 5 or 6 that usually get it. And Kaiser didn't ship out their review copies last month. I don't think because they knew what the situation was going to be.
That's weird, because you would think White Mountain Knives would
have that already handled.
A bulk order into them. And then
maybe it's retroactive though. Maybe it's what's in inventory. Maybe they look at, I don't know how tariffs work, right? I know it's a gambling chip that's doing all kinds of stuff, but let's say for the Polish custom knives situation, which I know has happened twice in the last week, you buy a $900 Herman on Polish custom knives. They process it. It ships to you. You've got cash on delivery of 140 something bucks. You can send it back for a full refund, but nobody wants to do that, right? You ordered this grail, you've waited for it.
Yeah.
You're sitting there and you're just like,
Yeah. But still, that's a lot of.
That was US to Canada deal. And that's how the Hermans have worked. Mine was a US China. Mine was Get Good Screw. Get Good Screw sent me some scales and a driver to try out. And it, they just put the basic, I think, cost on the bill of lading, and I had $41 COD, which was 70 or 80% of what they had the value assessed at. So I don't know.
It's very confusing. I reached out to my representative at Kubi and I was like, hey, is this tariff going to affect anything? And they're like, oh, no, it's not going to affect anything. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Well, it could be that they've got it worked in. The China OEMs could be a step ahead of it, and they could have it worked in to where they can handle that.
They got it worked in. They're charging $35 for shipping. So there you go.
Per knife?
Yes.
Really? Okay. So
I mean, I don't know. I haven't put multiple knives in my cart to see if the shipping goes up or down, but
you drop one in and it's $35.
I know the Bloom, and because people have been knocking my door down about it, is that they're like, we don't want to buy directly from Kubi because shipping is $35. This
is pie in the sky stuff, but would there be a way, because the demand's there, that Kubi would see it in the best interest to come up with a way to ship you a bunch of Blooms, maybe 20 or 40, and let you sell them at the price and only have shipping be eaten one time and let them eat that so they can get more into the market if it's slowing down their sales and their absorption? Would that be something that you would even want to consider?
There's a reason why I collaborated with them and I didn't want to do an OEM because.
Well, maybe White Mountain Knives or somebody. It just seems like if shipping is half the price of the knife, that's going to stop a lot of people from buying it.
Oh, absolutely.
If that's the only choice. So it would seem to me that Kubi could come up with a plan where they could ship a bunch to Justin at White Mountain Knives, right? And he could, because he knows he's going to sell them. But I
Well,
don't know how all that works.
Kubi's going to be at Blade Show,
Yep.
and that's fun because that's like the first time they've been at Blade Show. So they're going to have a table at Blade Show.
I'm going to be spending some time at that table because they do not answer emails worth a shit.
They don't do it with their designers either.
I'm not getting singled out for special treatment.
No,
I think it's a language barrier.
You're not the only one. Yeah, I guess you have to. If you're OEMing with them, they'll probably answer very quickly because they're getting money from that.
Right, but, exactly.
My hope is that they brought a bunch with them, not just. Obviously, I want them to have a bunch of blooms, and hopefully, maybe they'll give it to White Mountain Knives or
whatever
other
they don't sell, or they'll sell them.
Might be at the show,
and you'll be surprised if people have been on the site and they've been seeing them with the high shipping, and they have an opportunity to buy them. Are you going to Atlanta?
And not this year. I'm trying to plan next year.
Awesome. You will love it. It's definitely an experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 3 days because everybody keeps saying you just got to do the 3 days.
You don't want to feel rushed, and the knives are great, but you see so much more. I mean, you can go through the hall 4 times and you'll see a table that gets your eye 4 different times, right? Because you're not able to really absorb. It's stimulus overload, really.
Oh yeah, that's what I've heard. But also the problem is, I want to visit the production tables, but I also want to go see the customs and the materials, and so.
And what you do is you get the program, right? You download that, and then you just figure out your plan of attack. Like maybe Friday you're going to go look at materials for half a day. Yep. Maybe Friday the other half of the day you're going to look at customs. Maybe Saturday you're going to spend talking to your partner, and then maybe Sunday you're going to sweep up everything you didn't get accomplished. Because sometime in there, what you're going to realize is you got people, that you want to hang out with, that you want to talk to, and catch up with, and it's really the best part of it. What's up, said Stevie? Good evening.
But that's also the main reason to go too, is to meet everybody, meet the people. And I know we could do things after the show and doing all that, but meeting the people is fun too. So I want to be able to experience it. If I don't get a chance to see materials, that's fine.
You will.
But I want to visit some of my friends who have tables there.
You will. If you've got the places you want to go, and you've got kind of a little idea in your head how you want to do it, you've got ample time in 2 days to see everything and still see the people. What I do, and I'm a recovering alcoholic who hadn't had a drink in 10 years, but one of the greatest things about Blade Show for me is the pit when the show ends, which is where everybody goes and has a drink and they kind of hang out. That's where you see everybody in one place. I'll get a ginger ale and I'll hang out, right? I'm not drinking, but I'm still seeing all the people at one
I don't drink either, so.
And the whole thing is, my point is, a lot of people aren't drinking down there. It's just a good place if you want to see a lot of the people that you've sold to, that you've talked to, that you collaborated with, you can just see them all, usually in that one spot. So it's a good experience.
Yep. And I'm sure just walking around, we run into people. So, it's fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a good time. What's up, War Room?
Hey, Chris.
What's up,
going on, Chris?
What's up, everybody? I haven't been in the chat. I'm sorry. I've been listening to Scott talk about his customs, his little handmade guys.
My little customs. Yep.
Dude, they're awesome. I mean, at the time, I thought the bloom was a little big. I love the pedal, but I really think I want to get one of these one day, the Bloom Cliff. I think this is just a great little design. I like the blade better, and I'm usually a drop point guy because this seems to have enough point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I haven't made another one, which is weird.
Well, maybe you're just waiting for people to see it and see what they think. Are you getting good feedback on it?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten good feedback on both. Everybody seems to be leaning more towards the Cardinal, that Cardinal XL.
That's
over
because they
the
have big
Blue
old
Cliff.
sausage hands, guys. See, you got to realize most of the people that you're sending these to are like or ogres.
Well, and that's always the argument with an
I
EDC
agree.
knife
But
is
for in your pocket, 3 fingers and a lanyard. Your lanyards are great. Are all you need. We've got another special guest. I got to pull this guy up because he's hard at work.
What's going on? What's up, Aries?
No. What's up,
You
Shayne?
all right?
We got two future collaborators here hanging out. What's up, guys?
That's
Oh,
awesome.
man. I just I figured I'd jump in for a minute or so. If I have to do anything noisy, I'll back out and mute it. But I was telling Aries, I was telling them that I don't do these. I don't go live from the shop like for my channel or anything. I do it because I get lonely in here. At least having the chat in the background.
If I'm just hand sanding, then I'm kind of like, I'm sitting here hand sanding. I want to talk to somebody. Here, let me go live.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Well, even if
you're
you're
not.
only going live to one person, if somebody walks in the shop, you can say, "No, I'm not talking to myself.
Right.
I've got an audience here."
I'm in my garage, so I'm sure my neighbors were like, "Who is he talking to? Who's this trouble bunny he's talking to?"
Yeah.
You're doing some good content, though, Scott. I mean, your content, I creep in there a lot. I'm not always a chatter, but I'm often a viewer because during the day, or kind of when I have my little micro naps where I'm not altogether conscious. I'm a night person since my kind of schedule is shifted. But your stuff is really good. Your content's good. For some reason, I don't get Shayne's notifications. I got to change that.
You got to just keep watching it, I think. Yeah. I try. I try. It's funny. I did that collaboration project just recently with my buddy Corey, and he is an amazing knife maker, and he tried to get some footage for that collaboration project that we were doing. And he's like, "Man, that was a lot of work." I was like, "Welcome to my world." Like trying to set up cameras and angles and doing all that while you're trying to work at the same time.
Buddy, I empathize with you because I cannot get a sharpening video worth a shit. And I have a very simple setup, but a sharpening video should be very easy compared to what Shayne's setting up for, what you set up for.
You're trying to set up something at the grinder or the drill press or just at the vise, and
I find it easy because I just don't worry about the quality.
Are you just carrying a tripod that you set down?
Shayne, you can look at the top of my head. It's all right. It don't matter.
Right. Yeah, I'm never quite sure what you guys can see. I just roll with it.
No, see, look, that's perfect. You're looking down on the drill press to see what's going on.
That's pure luck.
I love it. You never know what you're going to get on Friday Night Flicks.
Yeah. You're going to make fun of me, Aries, because I install my scales one at a time with no holes in them. The reason for that, I don't have coordination and very good dexterity in my hands. I can't work with 3 pieces at one time. I just cannot.
I don't either.
So I literally put one scale on, drill my holes, glue my other scale on. Tomorrow, I'll drill back through that side and then put my pins in.
Well, I do it one at a time. I'll clamp the blade to the scale and I just drill one at a time. Because every time I try to do all three pieces, something gets misaligned or something gets haywire. So I can't do it. I just glue it.
That's not loud, is it?
No.
The microphone's cutting it out.
Cutting it out, yeah. We don't hear the grind. The worst thing
what you were saying with the lanyard. So for all of my 3-finger blades, I always will put a lanyard. And I'm not a lanyard guy. On any of my folders, I don't put lanyards.
The lanyards are more like tails. They're more like extensions of the handle.
Or if it's a larger, then I won't put a lanyard on it because it doesn't need it.
What's that one called again?
This is the spike.
The spike. I like that.
Yeah. that sax style. But for the bloom or the bloom cliff or anything else, that's why I put the lanyard. And I know that's one of the biggest comments that I get a lot in the videos is I can't, like these guys will say, I can't EDC a 3-finger knife. I have, it has to be 4 fingers. And which, that's fine. That's, everybody has their own opinion on what they're going to EDC or how they're going to EDC, which is great. Like you have something like, oh, I have to pull this one out. Like the Hawk. I don't know if you've seen the Hawk.
Beautiful little knife.
So you have like that small blade, but it's still 4 fingers on the blade. But
Is that OV or is that AEBL too?
This one's AEB.
Okay, it's just got a different blade finish. It's more of a belt satin or a satin.
That's just a hand satin finish that I put on it.
I got you.
So it's just a.
Scott, have you considered or looked into this new Pops Pro Cut at all? Oh crap! What am I doing? My phone.
What is it?
He's about to get a better signal. He said.
Oh.
Pops Pro Cut.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's their new. Larry Thomas designed it. It's supposed to be the carbon steel to end all carbon steels. But I've seen it tested. It has really good edge retention. It's not stainless, but it's very affordable. Is the only reason I was interested. So I bought a stick of it. I'm going to do some of my homesteads in it because that's my most affordable knife. But,
what's it called?
It's called Pops Pro Cut. You can only get it at Pops.
Oh, Pops. Okay.
Show that stick to Scott again. Not that he can tell the difference from one stick to another.
Well, I was showing it because it's the only steel I've ever got from Pops that was flat ground. However, you can tell it's a carbon steel because it's already starting to patina.
Which is
so
fine.
This is going to be a very easy steel to patina.
Hey, Shayne.
Well, 80 CRB2 is the same.
In either Cerakote or some kind of blade treatment. I know a lot of people that make like homestead knives coat it with something.
Well, I'm not gonna because I kind of want it. The homestead's supposed to be like a rustic model.
Gotcha.
So I want it to patina. You know, that's if people don't want that or like that, I offer other steels. Aries offers other steels, but I think I'm going to do the homestead in that. But they did a cardboard cutting test with that. The biggest thing about it is it can achieve 67 HRC. So you can get it really hard. And at 67, it cut like 363 feet of cardboard before it dulled, which is
how did they treat it? How did they heat treat and temper?
It's that's another thing. It's very forgiving in heat treat, and it's also temper resistant. So it's literally 1500 degrees for 15 minutes, oil quench, and then 300-degree temper.
So
gets you 67.
So you could quench it, heat it up, get it. Nice.
The whole purpose behind it is it's supposed to be the steel that they're going to add to Damascus to get better edge retention out of Damascus.
That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Yeah, but I wanted to try it early.
Other steel, Shayne, you just use it as a mixer. Isn't that Damascus application?
John,
that's a great Shayne. How you froze just with that face.
I'm sorry. That's meathead calling. I'll have to come back.
Okay, come back, bud.
Oh man.
But yeah, we love live from the shops.
I can't keep up with all the new steels and stuff, but that's cool.
I learned a lot. I finally picked up Laren's book on knife steels, where it talks about edge geometry. It talks about the different compositions of steels and their different, high points, low points. And to me, it's more college textbook that's like, I didn't take the precursor classes to really get it, but some of the stuff is basic enough for me to get a better idea. So I feel like it's a good resource to have. I like to learn about it, even though I'm not a steel snob. I love my Chinese M390. I don't complain about it, even though I know it's probably not going to cut as well as, other American steels, maybe.
I guess
I
it
don't
all
know.
depends on what you're really using it for.
Opening bags of cat food and
I
opening
mean,
Amazon packages.
That's what I'm saying. Like that M390, if that's all you're cutting or your packages when they come in, you're
It's
never
all I
going to, that edge is going to last you quite some time.
And part of the fun for me is I like disassembling knives and maintaining them, and I like sharpening knives. To me, sharpening is part of the cathartic collecting part. So if I can cut enough cardboard to get a knife to where it's not cutting paper, I love to be able to sharpen it or hone it back.
Yep.
I just look at that as part of the fun. I don't want it to hold an edge forever. This is one of the first knives I bought when I started collecting again. It was a Blurple PM2, which is the S110V. I put scales on it since. This has never been stropped, never been sharpened, and it's scary sharp.
Oh yeah. My PM3 is still really sharp.
The geometry of these knives are great, of Spyderco's. I'm a huge fan.
And that's the biggest
slicing.
That's the thing. We get into that debate with that, and there's so many things to factor in with your edge geometries and your bevel geometries and how thin they are, how thick they are.
What you're using the knife for, what your expectations for a knife are.
Exactly. Are you hard using your knife every day because of what you do for a living? Or, like I have that.
That's a fantastic knife. Is that the 20CV or the Magna Cut?
That's the 20CV Bulldog.
I love it.
And TRM.
Bulldog's one of my favorite TRMs to date. I do want to try the Neutron frame lock at Blade Show.
I'm fine with the Neutron liner. The Neutron is probably I would probably take that over the Bulldog. They actually sent this to me. They're awesome though. But they're
the kindest people in the game. And
oh yeah.
The only reason I like this, I like the detent of the liner lock, but this to me is the exact same size for the way it fits my hand. And I like the thicker scales and the little bit thicker blade stock. To me, I prefer this over the Neutron, even though I don't like the detent as much.
Yeah. And I've got the handle, the Magna Cut one. It was Magna Cut with the G10 scales, but the scales were squared off.
Flat,
more like the Spyderco stock scales are, and it's TRM's version of a nice work knife.
Let me tell you a trick. I learned this, and I've got a video on it. I ordered some orange G10 contoured scales, and they're not supposed to be compatible with those Gen 1 TRMs because they have a different. If you look at your pullbacks on your bar lock, on the one you're holding now, there are no bolts. You can't take those off. It doesn't matter. The other ones have a little bolt. Can you see a little bolt in there?
No.
Okay, but on the flat one you can. But
really?
They don't sell titanium, but any of those G10 contoured scales or the micarta that you like, you can put those on very easily, your flat ones. I did it. I did a swap.
Well, I like the contoured
scale.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I was thinking about doing was writ dyeing these scales.
Oh yeah,
I could do that.
But if you wanted to change out the black flat scales, they will accept the scale replacements.
Well, that was in the pass around, so that's my PM2 or PM3.
Love it. The PM3 was, for some reason, as small as my hand is, which is probably your size hand. I did not like the 3 nearly as much as the 2. I just fell for the 2, and I've got 3 of them in different blade styles. But the PM3, I traded it. It's one of the few knives I traded early on.
Really?
Just 'cause it didn't. Yeah, it just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It's a great size.
The PM2 was just a little bit too big for me. So I don't know.
And
I'm weird with small knives though.
And usually I like small knives, but for me, just having that extra grip,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel that much bigger in pocket, but it is.
I don't know. It fits with
Paul
that.
Mills, the Shadow is a great one. I think the Shadow is probably their best design.
Yeah.
I don't have it in titanium, but I do have it in G10.
Chris Warroom let me borrow his Shadow because I have this little guy. Oh, you have a Shadow?
Nerd?
There you go.
That's a big boy, little boy.
Yeah.
And it's that blade shape that makes
I
it
love
so
the blade
spicy.
shape.
Yep, on the Nerd too.
Yeah.
I've actually got the Holy Nerd like that. And I've got my collection, because I collect TRMs. I've got one of the old Nerds that had the TRM logo in here.
Oh, just the Nerd.
Yep, the Nerd. And I've
Yeah,
got
that Shadow was
an
good.
Atlas too. I traded with Pocket Metal for an Atlas he came into possession of. That's this old slip joint, one of their first knives.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I think.
Yeah, the Neutron is still. I've gotten to handle a couple of them, and they're always so good. And they share my last name. I mean, come on. they're part of my family, and they're coming out with that little fixed blade. Oh, what's it called? I keep forgetting the name of it.
Not the LUT. It's something with an L. I forget. The red line fixie's great, but that little one.
Tag along? No, I don't remember.
It's something like that, but they launched it at Blade, Texas.
Yeah, I've seen pictures. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you that red line fixed blade, the full size one, is bigger than I normally carry.
That out.
Yeah, I've got one of those, and it's a great camp knife. It's probably my go-to camp knife. That
oh, absolutely.
This knife right here has surprised me, and it's not a knife I would normally look into, but it's a bushcraft knife. Have you ever heard of the Fibonacci sequence?
Well, I saw that. I saw someone else. I know KC had that thing on there. That thing is wild.
Dude, this thing has got a crown spine to right here, and then it goes 100% cut, so you can just strike ferro rods all day long. It's a big chunk of LMAX.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
that grind on it, that thing is meant to be beat on.
And I haven't rolled it yet. I've tried to roll it, and I haven't.
Well, it's meant to be beat on with that. They probably have a pretty hefty edge bevel on it, too.
Yes, it's definitely. Now, it still slices paper, but that's not its intended use, right? No, I wouldn't want to use it to cut sandwiches, but you could do it if you had to.
That's an outdoors camp knife all day.
Kyle, what are you sharpening down there?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
He does a lot of Edgy's final sharpenings.
Oh, does he?
Right now, I'm working on a prototype.
Oh, a proto?
Yeah.
So you can't show it?
I can't.
You secret sneaky bastard.
It happens, man. It happens.
So, Aries, what do you got going this weekend, buddy? You just working on knives, or do you take the weekends off?
Oh, no. I get as much time out in the shop as I possibly can. I'm in the middle of nine builds. I just got all the stainless back for May because the last 2 book openings that I did, I do my 5 and every single person picks a stainless steel. So I just got them all back from Peter's yesterday. I use Peter's heat treating services.
Right.
I just got them back yesterday. So today so they come back, looking like this. Maybe not so attractive and everything else.
And you've got to clean them up.
So I've been I started cleaning them all up, getting them all prepped. A lot of them are getting acid etched. So I just got to put my maker's mark on them and start acid etching. I've already cut out all the handle material for all of them. So I'm kind of ahead of the game there. But I'm trying to get them all done for these people that have been very patiently waiting. And then I have 3 more of these that I'm going to be doing in stainless.
Are those all spoken for?
The 5 are spoken for. The spikes are not spoken for. None of these are spoken for. They're all going to be dropped on the Etsy store. So I have the G10 ones, and then all of the other ones are going to be linen micarta.
Do you have an approximate date on when those might hit? Or are you going to announce that on your...
I'll announce it on Instagram, on YouTube.
Shoot me a message if you would when they're going to drop. If you can remember.
I will. The
What's up, Nolly Charlie?
The book spots, the 5 books builds, those are all priority right now.
Sure.
Those are all spoken for, so all of these have to get
done
first. This is a Bloom XL. So it's the larger version of the Bloom.
What is that adding? About 3/4 of an inch, or is it adding more?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's right at 3 inches.
Okay.
Blade length. So, you got the Bloom and then the Bloom Cliff, or the larger.
Great shape.
So
it's a very understated, elegant shape that just works.
Yeah. So that's a good 4-finger grip on that. And, it's still at that size where you can EDC it comfortably, and it not get in the way.
Hey, Kyle, you're going to love this.
What's up?
I dropped off my Blitz 360 to A to Z EDC today.
Okay.
And gave him the little manual and kind of walked him through the stone compensator. And I said, hey, dude, don't worry about it. If you have any issues, just call Kyle. He'll set something up with you. I volunteered you for free.
Son of a bitch.
He won't call. I think I can get him straight on it. He's only got some little 1/2-inch dog stones, so I had to go to Gritomatic and realize they were 10 millimeters so I could set his compensator.
Just use the stone to set it. You don't need to worry about.
Right, but on the Blitz, it's got that little knob that you turn like in 0.5 millimeter increments.
Yeah, I still don't trust that. I still just use the stone.
Well, you understand this shit more than us hack.
Okay, sorry.
No, but I don't think he'll call you. I just said if you have any questions, Kyle can help you on it. Because you know the Blitz too, right? I know the Blitz pretty well.
I know it a little bit. I never had one, but I understand the principle behind it.
The Blitz and one other, the clamps move. And then the other two, the one you got and the one I've got, the rod moves. That's the difference where the clamps are fixed. And there are more differences than that, I guess, too.
Yeah.
But I took them an angle gauge, use a totally different angle gauge setup on the Blitz. And I think the Cadet work the same way?
Cadet works the same as like the Pioneer. Yeah,
where you just got to set it and then you get your angles zeroed out when you get your rod on it. But those are great systems.
Yeah, the Blitz is the entry, then the Pioneer, then the Cadet, and then the KO3.
Yeah, the fun thing is A to Z is going to lowball me on it, and I'm going to take it away from him, and it'll bump him an instant $100.
I love my Cadet Pro, my Cadet.
Yeah, they're good.
They're such great systems.
Yep. I mean, I'm in the middle of sharpening one right now.
So you sharpen all your knives?
Yep. I use TS. I currently am using that to finish sharpening every blade, which is a much harder to do when you're putting a fresh edge on a blade instead of dealing with a blade that already has a
bevel,
sharpening bevel put in.
So when you grind it, sorry, Kyle.
No, I'm just saying I know that feeling. It's
yeah. If you're doing edgy blades, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, try hitting crew wear at 65, 66, trying to cut in a bevel on it.
No thanks. I've done some really hard stuff, and I like to sharpen at like a 17-degree angle too. So
you have it just apex perfectly when you take it to your sharpener, or have you got a little bevel cut on with bells? How do you prep it for final sharpening? Just apex it the best you can?
Scott, I'd honestly say the headache and worry on your stones, just put on like a 24-degree, couple swipes on the belt, and then when you go in to cut it in with your stones, it's a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. Well,
That'll take you a half hour per night, probably.
I have a buddy who has a whole another belt system of sharpening that locks you in at an angle,
Right.
and then you're taking a Tormek, the system that locks you in at the angle. It's the same as on a Tormek.
Yeah.
You can use on this system, so you're locked in at the angle, so you're just like on the belt, like at a perfect angle. So I just got to come up with the money to do it.
I mean, even if you just go, say he would be like, let you go over once a week or once every couple of weeks to knock out 4 or 5, just borrow it while he's there versus having to buy your own. I mean, that'll say, like I said, that'll save you a half hour per knife at least.
Oh yeah, easy. Believe me, I've thought about just getting half of that bevel in already, and that would save me so much more time.
Man, hell, you could cut it in at 30 degrees and just freehand it in and just real high and not worry about it. And then,
as long as you get into the apex where you're getting a little bit of a burr, then not even to the burr, you're getting close.
Yeah, just got to get that down to almost a zero grind, basically.
Yeah.
With the absolutely pretty fly. But yeah, I mean, the higher you go, the safer you are not hurting the actual finish of the knife. You can just throw it in there and then be able to cut it in faster. So, yeah, it makes life much, much easier. I mean, even with, I've got some pretty nasty core stones and it still takes forever. And the thicker the knife, just the worse it is. So obviously, depending upon your behind the edge thickness will make a huge difference.
And you're taking that core stone all the way to the bevel, right? So you're trying to apex it, like you say, chase the grit from that first bevel that you're installing, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Because I try to get pretty damn thin on the edge before I start sharpening, just for that reason.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you to think about it too, is when whatever your grind ends up pre-bevel. So say you grind it down to like 10 thou. Once you sharpen it, it's going to take it back up. So it's going to take it to like 15, 16 thou, or maybe even a little higher, depends on your angle.
Yep.
So the lower you can get it pre-bevel, the better off you are as far as what you're actually going to end up with. Especially but not a hollow. I mean, if it's a hollow, it's a different story. But if you're doing
your hollow grinds it completely. No, I try to get it super thin right before sharpening, so they get pretty thin. I like my stuff sharp.
Your stuff is very sharp, and these knives have been around, I'm guessing, 15 people. And I even said that before the review, that I don't know how well it's going to cut, but it just slayed paper, slayed cardboard, and slayed paper again.
Yeah. And I know some people have been cutting cardboards, but in paper with it mostly. So
that's all I cut with it. Cardboard and paper. I cut paper, then I cut a little cardboard, then I cut paper again.
Yeah. And they've been around to a couple people, and I don't know if anybody's done anything to the edge.
I'm an idiot, and I'm terrible on Instagram. How do I find out who these go to tomorrow? Just go to the group?
Here, I can tell you. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, let me get my pen. Tell me if you don't mind, and I'll run them down and get them. I've got them boxed up now. It's just a matter of putting the label on them. Who we got?
Let's see. Let me look at the list here.
It was
I tried to mix it up. So, the Knight's Edge.
TKE.
Yep.
All right, I will reach out to him and get his address.
Very good.
Awesome, buddy. Thank you for doing that. That saves me a lot of grief trying to figure out how to do it, and I'll get them out tomorrow.
That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
And all you members stop by tomorrow, and I'll get yours out. I do a little member swag giveaway on Saturday mornings.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
They just have to come in and leave a word that I've got up. They don't have to be here to win.
That's awesome.
It's always too much on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Everybody's got stuff going. They've got kids sports. They've got all kinds of stuff. Honey-do list.
I'll be in the shop. Actually, no, I got a family thing. I'll be in the shop in the morning, and then I got a family thing I got to go to, and then. But yeah,
I've got a really cool date. It's not a date, but tomorrow afternoon, starting this week on Saturday afternoons, I'm going down to the Knives and More, my local knife store, and they're going to load me up with like 4 or 5 knives that they want me to feature, and I'll come video those in the weekend and then bring them back to them Monday morning. First time I go, I'm going to take. Yeah, I mean, dude, they're a Benchmade premier dealer, so they have at least three of every Benchmade in production. Plus, they trade with the people that they've sold to for 35 years. So they've got a 35-year-old Bally Song that's number 10 out of 100. It's got a blue blade. It's $11,575. And they've got customs. They've got almost every Microtech, every ProTech you could want. That's a really cool store. And I've had a good relationship with them because I went up there about 4 weeks ago and did a video that got like 15,000 views, and they got a ton of calls. They sold a bunch of knives off it. So it works out. Gets me content and, gets them some business. And they're just such a cool store. They don't have a website, dude. They have no.
I don't even have a store here, so
you don't need awesome to. What I'm saying is, this guy, I talked to him a long time ago when I first got into knives. He's an older guy, probably my age, and I said, "What made you get into the knife business?" He goes, "Well, I had such a big collection, I had to put it somewhere, so I started a store." Because what he does is he's got a whole section of 1920 to 1970 cases in boxes. He buys all this estate stuff, right? But he also has all the American makers new stuff and custom maker stuff. So we started talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I think he started that store. He was the first Benchmade dealer signed in Alabama. I want to say he's been there 30 years, and I drove by his store for better part of 25 because I went right by there for work and never knew it was there because it's a small little strip mall hole in the wall. And when I got into the knife game, I saw it one day and I walked in there and I was just like, holy shit." Yeah. Because what's cool is like right now, he's got 2 Battlefield pickup Hinders that somebody's brought in to sell. He's got a mini Koenig Arius. He's got a couple of Hermans. He's got several Medfords. He had a knife that Marfione made. That's an automatic liner lock. Tate, the guy that works there, bought it. But just some really cool stuff that you don't see every day. So I'm hoping to feature some of that for content and to get him some business.
Heck yeah, that's a great collaboration.
Yeah. And
there is nothing here. Nothing.
And that's not unusual.
Like the only place I can go that might carry some stuff that's a little cool would be like our local Ace Hardware.
Right.
They have Benchmades, and they're actually carrying like Vosteed and that kind of stuff now too. But it's kind of like, okay, well, I've kind of handled all that kind of stuff, and it's all in a case, and those people have no idea what any of that stuff is.
Right. They're not a real knife store per se.
Yeah, it's not a knife store. There's no knife stores anywhere close to where I'm at.
What's interesting about these guys is they're like anti-Smoky Mountain Knives. Because I asked him, I said, "Why don't you let me help you with your social media or something?" He goes, "John, we're a destination. People that are looking for old Benchmades come to us. We don't have to talk about what we've got because we've been doing business with the same people for 30-something years. So their business is so insulated because people know if I'm looking for an antique stag case knife, I'm going to go talk to John to see if he can find me one, stuff like that." I put Zach on him and said, "You need to reach out to him and tell him what your wish list for your rare Benchmades are. The next time you talk to those guys, ask them if they know about Knives and More, because I bet they do. Because he's one of the only premiers in Alabama and a nice guy."
Yeah, that's cool. What's up, Gareth?
Gareth, welcome from the south part of Africa, my friend.
Make sure you sign that Cardinal card.
Me?
Yeah. The back, if you look at the Cardinal XL card,
everybody sign it.
Everybody's been signing it, so sign it.
Definitely will.
Gareth.
Thank you for telling me that.
That's Garrett's knife, so you got to sign it.
I would have totally forgotten. I'm glad you reminded me. Garrett, that's a beautiful knife. Give you a sneak peek.
He keeps hearing that, but it's gonna be a little while before he ever gets it.
God, it's beautiful. Is this acid etched, Scott?
Yep, acid etched and tumbled it.
And tumbled? And your sheath retention is just next level.
Yeah, that was when I first had the gall of getting a knife out to somebody to take a look at for a review. That was the one thing. It's like, there's a little rattle in this, and then it was like, I tried to dial in my sheaths as good as possible. I mean, they might be a little rattle, but they're never coming out. That's the thing. And it's not easy to do a Kydex sheath with absolutely zero rattle.
No, but yours have very little distinguishable rattle that I can hear.
Yeah. Now, some of them do, some of them don't. I do my best with them, but they're all 100% safe. You know, they're not going anywhere. That's the more important thing for me, is they're safe for the user.
And they carry great.
The user. But yeah.
Do you have a lot of people that put ulti clips on them and carry them in their pocket, or do you know of anybody that does?
Yeah, I'm sure there has been. I send them all out with the loop. Each one I send out that has the loop, that's just my preferred method of carry. But if somebody wants to do the ulti clip on them or a different clip system, that's completely up to them. I've tried to do the ulti clip on one of mine, like when I got the blooms in, I tried an ulti clip on it. I didn't like it. I'm just so used to the loops that I just do the loop.
And on a small knife, a loop works well. On the larger ones, I put them in my back pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just how I
can see that. I can totally see that.
So I put them in my back
pocket. The largest knife I'm comfortable putting on my belt, where I appendix carry in the front, is like the Dust Devil. Just for the length alone, it gets to that real borderline where it almost gets too long.
Right.
I start bumping into things, or it gets caught on something. But yeah.
I got you.
And I did a taco sheath for mine.
Yeah, taco sheaths are the way to go, especially if you know. The only reason I like a pancake is if you don't know which side you're going to put it on. But with yours, I mean, it makes sense that if I'm going to do an ulti clip, I'm doing it on the right side. Yeah, they're perfect.
See, that changes the whole carry of that knife.
So you know Terry, 1931.
That's awesome.
You know 1931 Leatherworks?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that. How's it working for you?
Dude, it freaking works great. I mean, it's perfect appendix carry, great retention, really subtle leather.
He said he was going to reach out to some of the owners of my knives to see if they wanted to do that. That's awesome.
I'm going to actually, Shayne's doing a knife for me that I'm going to reach out to Terry. He doesn't know yet, but I want him to do a sheath for it. But yeah, just excellent little, and I love the Kydex sheath. Don't get me wrong. I'm usually a Kydex guy, but I wanted to try it, and I wanted to be able to show it because I think his work is really, really nice.
Oh
I
yeah.
love Lancelot Leather's work. I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah. Joe's work is unbelievable.
I'm a big fan of Oak City Leather Works. I don't know
Yep.
if you've ever had familiar with these guys.
Yeah,
You pick
I
the leather.
a couple knives with that. They're awesome.
Yeah, you pick the thread, you pick the eyelet color, and then you pick whatever kind of clip you want. I've got about 5 of them in different sheaths or different knives. They're
Yeah,
definitely winners. There's 1931 Leatherworks.
Yep, he popped in. Yep, he's awesome.
He is awesome.
He's awesome, man.
It's good to know that you got people out there that can help you with stuff like that you can refer people to.
This community is awesome. And there's a lot of people still popping out doing stuff that are still coming out and making really cool stuff.
Who made that? That's a gorgeous little medallion coaster.
Trouble Bunny.
Oh my gosh.
Trouble.
Dude,
have you? I don't know. You have Trouble Bunny in any of your chats?
No.
She sent me this.
Dude, that is beautiful. What a beautiful organizer. Oh my gosh.
Put my maker's mark in there.
That is gorgeous. Would you call her Trouble Bunny?
Trouble Bunny?
What did you call
her? That's her name in the chat is Trouble Bunny. And then she totally just did this. I had Joe from Lancelot Leather on the Makerspace on Sunday for my live, and he showed off something like this that he did, and I was like blown away because that would be something when I was working in the office and going to meetings every day. That would have been a game changer.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had something
with
like
that. It's like, custom leather. It was awesome. So she saw that I liked it, and she was like, "I want to make it for you." And then she sent me a couple of these to do giveaways with. So, and it's a patch. There's Velcro on the back.
Oh, dude, I didn't even know that. So it's like a Ranger eye.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put it on my little patch board behind me eventually, but I've been using it and I've just been putting it as a backdrop in some of my videos.
It would be also cool on one of those hats that you can put the patch on.
Somebody said that too, because she made some smaller ones that were a little bit smaller than this, which would have been perfect if you have a little Velcro on your hat.
Where's she out of?
I think she's in Pennsylvania.
Okay. East Coast.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, so she's just now kind of getting back into the leather stuff, and she's might do an Etsy store. So it's like all these people within our community who are like, you know what, I want to try getting back into this, and then they start doing really cool stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I love the talent that exists in this community, and it always makes me feel like such a subhuman because I can't do stuff like that. I can do stuff with my brain, but I can't do skilled labor, so to speak.
I need help with OBS. Can you help me with OBS?
I don't use it. I tried it once, and I got it set up, and then I felt like I had too much I had to manage, so I went back to StreamYard.
StreamYard is so easy. You just set it and forget it type of deal.
But it costs you every month.
I've been playing with OBS. I have the free version of Streamlabs because I can't pay that. But I tried OBS, and it's just I'm like overwhelmed because you could do so much. I don't even know where to start. I think from what I can tell, you just basically set up your little windows, right? The way that you want your views to be. But then there's so many plugins that you can get because it's open source. So you can get plugins to cheer when you get a donation. You can get all kinds of weird, cheesy shit. Oh, yeah. I mean,
but to me, it's too much to manage. To me, I can't watch the chats.
No, I can't.
And it's the simple stuff I can't do. So StreamYard works for me. I've thought about Streamlabs, but I don't understand how it works. I need to talk to G-Ball, Kathleen.
Yes, but
if G-Ball
uses Streamlabs, it works. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that use OBS.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the main podcasting streaming platform.
Oh yeah, because you could do so many things with it, but setting it up is just like I'm like confused.
I am too, because I can technically set up like a monitor or something like that, but when it comes to trying to set up settings, I've got a Rodecaster soundboard. I can't set up hardly anything on it. Yeah, there are tons of OBS tutorials, and I think it's something that if you've got a little bit of time to dedicate, you can learn all of it. And I don't think
OBS
it's
is great for multi-streaming because you can actually set your plugins and everything else to simulcast to multiple.
Speaking of simulcasting,
that's the best thing that I've heard, because you could go to TikTok or any of the other things, and then you could do everything. But
check that out, Kyle.
Nice. You got any viewers?
Fuck no. Here, let's see what we got going on.
Where are you at on Kick?
That's Kick, but here's Rumble. Hold on, I streamed to Kick and Rumble because I've
never even heard of these things. That's how behind I am.
All right, let's see if it's live. I've got 2 viewers here, but let me see why it's not letting me. Yeah, there we are. So Rumble's the one that's Kyle. Hey, you weirdo. Kyle Klingenwek goes over there and will comment every now and then. But yeah, I figured why not, you know? It lets you, when you set up StreamYard, I could go to Twitter, but I have to pay $8 to be verified. And I can stream on Instagram, which I've done, but I've got to set up a professional account, which is free. But once I set my account to professional, I automatically get like 10 posts flagged, and I don't get my stuff shown to anybody outside of my friend group. So screw that.
Yeah, that's not worth it then.
Nope.
Jim
Miller, thank you, buddy. I'm giving you a quick
what's up, Jim?
Quick hug. Hopefully it's not too loud. Kyle will tell me how loud it is.
Loud.
Oh, that had to be quiet.
That was loud as shit.
Was it really? Damn.
Yes.
Very loud.
Jim Miller, enjoy your suppository.
Maybe I could just do this. Is that loud?
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything. What did you do?
You don't hear the clapping?
No.
Okay, never mind. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you, brother. Come by tomorrow, win something cool.
I do have one thing.
Busted my truck speaker. Sorry, Ron. I was hoping you had on headphones with in-ears with no noise cancellation. Night, damn, that was loud. Dude, I'm sorry. I'll come up with another way. I'll do some kind of virtual hug. I'm going to buy a fucking kazoo. Screw y'all.
Don't do the kazoo. I can't stand.
I'm gonna get a pan flute, and I'll go
pan flute. I am trying to get a rattlesnake rattle for mine.
Something would work, you know. There's got to be something. I've got these little. Are these loud? Can y'all hear these? Hold on. Can you hear that clapping?
No.
You can hear nothing. Illuminati.
Illuminati, what's up? Everybody close your ears. I'm going to go all the way down to no sound, so you should not hear shit.
Perfect. Damn it, Javon.
Did y'all hear anything?
Yes. What a shit.
God, I turned it all the way down. That's bizarre, guys. All right, I won't do that anymore. I appreciate you, Gareth. Illuminati. Gareth, I'm going to give you a virtual hug. So as not to make people flip out.
Illuminati.
Okay, maybe call me an old crudgy bastard, but I don't understand the need.
Kathleen, you heard the clapping?
Yes. Poor Kathleen had to take her headphones off.
Kathleen had to pull her headset off. It was so loud.
That was one hand clapping to itself. What is that you're holding?
Oh.
Ooh, that's like got a little bit of hockey billy going on, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a Talon. It's called the Talon. I've only done one.
Wicked. Yeah, that looks wicked, dude. I like it.
Only one I've done. it was not easy. That shape is not an easy shape for me to do. So I've never done another one. That's my only one. It's so thin.
Oh God, I bet it cuts like vines and stuff. Great.
Oh yeah, I've never had to resharpen this or anything, and it's just so slicey. Ridiculous. Cardboard doesn't stand a chance.
Ooh.
And it's 80 CRV2. Whoa, what was that? Prototype being shown?
This one is now we've already discussed this, but it's completely rough. It's not finished ground. It's not just
careful, Blue. Be careful.
It's just ground. So there is marking on it still because it's not been completely done. But I'm putting the edge on so you can get it back and done quick enough to get done before show.
That's beautiful, dude. That looks like a big guy.
Yeah, that's the Thug XXXL.
Nice.
That is in comparison to well, this has got tape on it, but you can see that's the normal size of a Thug.
So there's going to be room for an XL.
I mean, awesome. This thing's almost 10 inches long.
That's going to be a wicked knife.
That's awesome. Kathleen, the water shaping it is not the issue. It's grinding the bevels on that curved blade. That's the issue.
Actually, let me tell you, I'll give you exact measurement.
Are you doing that on your TS Prof or are you doing it on something else?
Something else. It's 10 3/8 inches long.
Damn. Overall?
Yeah, that's a big old boy.
What's it made out of?
I think this one is I have to look at my number. I think this one's Nitro.
Doesn't matter. I'm just curious.
I'm pretty sure it's Nitro V. But yeah, this one I'm getting ready to work on, and then I'll be done.
I'll tell you what caught my eye yesterday. I made the mistake of going to Blade Binge, and they've got about 3 whippersnappers for sale. 2 of them have trades. Except
Lamech does good stuff.
Dude, my buddy A to Z's got a really fancy one with Damasteel, but they've got one that's just kind of basic with S90V. I just think that little whippersnapper is such a beautiful design. It fits my hand great.
What were the asking for, John?
Well, they go down to about 6, but that's the. Let me go.
What were they asking for it on used? Because I see them on secondary for 3 to 3 1/4 all the time.
Where are you seeing them, dude?
Knife Swap. They don't hold resale value for anything. Lamechs do not hold resale value, so don't pay.
Find me one. Let me go right here. Whipper or snapper.
I was gonna say don't pay.
These are much higher than that. So these are. There's one for $589.
Nope.
Marble carbon fiber satin accents. One for $650. S90V jeweled titanium. Here's one for $549.
I wouldn't pay more than $400 for one secondary.
Really?
Yep. Let me pull up and see what.
Where?
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm pulling it up right now. It's on Knife Swap over on Reddit. I don't use Reddit, but that's the only thing I get on there for is for the Knife Swap part.
I've never even used Knife Swap. Is it kind of like a bulletin board?
Let's see what the last one posted for.
Why you do
Did
that?
Wixco send you anything, Javon?
What's that?
Did Wixco send you anything?
No, I haven't heard of them. Are they a company?
It's Monster's budget brand.
Monster sent me one knife early on, but no, they haven't sent. I've seen some of those videos, but no, I've not gotten anything from them.
I had to reach out to them to get them to send me something, and they sent me this, which is what I wanted to check out, the Vortex. That hawkbill kind of shape. It's good though.
Yeah, that's a nice looking knife.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, Monster had sent me that. the Glideman, which is a really great knife, M390. But Wixco is their budget brand now. This is still it's under $100, but I think it's like 90 something dollars. Nitro V. They got the shredded carbon fiber, DLC coated. You know, that Hawksbill. They got the thumb studs in the hole, which is interesting. I'm just assuming you could take those off if you wanted to. Super smooth.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a great little knife, and I had the Gideon that I tried out, and I thought that was a very nice knife.
All right,
I
Javon.
think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just found some numbers for you.
No, go ahead.
Found one in S90V Warncliffe blade that just sold for $395. I saw a prototype that just sold for $450. There's a 20 CV one that is got some anodization and some other things on it, and that one was $450, but it hasn't sold, so it's not going to sell at that price. It's going to go for lower. And that's all within the last like month. So
Yeah, what's weird on eBay, they've got a lot of listings in that 6 to 8 range, but they have no completed listings that I can find.
right, and that's the problem. People think that that's a market value. Well, it's not market value if they're not moving.
No, what somebody's willing to pay at any given time is market value. No, Kyle, I appreciate that, man. I might have you help me out down the road.
Yeah, there's just I would not pay anywhere near asking price on there. And I mean, I know that the people may be good, but the pricing on there a lot of times is just astronomically high.
Kind of like you can get the same knife for a lot less, and then you're going to have buyer's remorse.
Yeah, just got to know what the actual prices are going for. Just because you see it listed for something doesn't mean that's value on it. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, like growing up, we used to have Beckett magazines for trading cards to tell you the value of stuff. You don't have that for knives, but
Beckett, I remember that.
Oh yeah,
there he is.
I was making too much noise to jump right back in, but I wanted to show y'all something. TranthAm and Troy commissioned me months ago to make him a couple of knives in 4V, and there was a chunk left, and he was so gracious. He was so gracious and paid me up front that I decided to make him a third knife with what was left, and he liked the Goon. So this is the Goon XL. It should probably be the Goon XXL. This is a 3/16. Yeah, that's a 3/16 inch piece of 65 HRC 4V.
Oh my God.
I'm in love with it, dude. Now that it's almost.
Oh, that's a tease, Shayne.
Shayne, my bad.
He's back now.
I hope to get to make some more of these, but Troy's been waiting way too long on this, and he did not pick the orange and blue, and Auburn never crossed my mind when I did that. I just did it. He's kind of allowed me to do whatever I want, but I love it. I like it a lot.
Baby. I think it's badass.
Shayne,
that would slice through a Subway sandwich like nobody's business.
Dude, this is my design language. In all honesty, I'm making the small stuff because it's what people want, but this is the shit I'd like to make. But this was 5 hours of bevel grinding.
Yep.
5 hours on this hard ass 4V.
How many bells?
No idea what this would sell for if I had charged him. But I'll say about 2 hours in, I was regretting offering the free knife.
Yeah.
Because that's flat ground. His choppers were convex grounds, so it didn't take near as long as this full flat grind did. Kyle,
he's now going to be.
Shayne, I'm telling you what, if you don't put a bevel on that, we're not friends anymore.
I was going to say, Kyle, have fun, buddy. It's on its way. Actually, Kyle, you can't even see a flat in that area.
The ones
I know. I'm gonna hit it anyway, but There is literally no flat. I ground it to almost 0 ground.
My
And I told him,
shoulders are hurting from you.
yeah, that should slice like hell. Those big chunky jimps. I love this thing, man.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
have
Hopefully
awesome,
Gear
dude.
Goons,
Shayne.
the Gear Goons just found out about this, so hopefully some of those Gear Goons guys will want a Goon XL. So there
I
it
bet
is.
it feels great in your hand. It looks like it just is an
Oh God,
extension.
so comfortable, man.
The thing's gonna be pricey in 4V though if you do it again in 4V.
Oh yeah, dude. This would easily be
4 to 5.
I'm going to say bare minimum 350, but
Yeah, I was
4 to
saying
5, I'm guessing.
that's without a sheath too. Because I haven't learned how to make kydex with this spine jimping because the kydex pinches in and locks the knife in. That's something I've got to learn how to do. But anyway, guys, I'm making too much noise to be on
Well,
here.
that's how
I just
Jason
wanted to,
does it. See that?
yeah.
So that's where his retention point is on his kydex.
Well, I was hoping that's how this would work out, but each one of these ends up being a retention point,
It gets
and I literally couldn't get the knife out of the sheath when I made it.
It'd be like trying to get your little evil Knievel to be jump started and go off his little, yeah.
Yeah.
you.
But I had to throw that off, guys. I'm going to jump off here because I'm grinding and I'm way too noisy. But I'm
All right,
listening in the
brother. Good seeing
background.
you, brother.
See y'all.
Later, Gary.
No, Gareth.
Oh, my comments quit moving.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, hey, Javon, I need to jump off.
All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by and sharing, and I'll get these headed to I'll reach out to TKE, let him know that they're coming, get his address, and I'll have him out to him tomorrow, Tuesday at the latest, if he doesn't get back to me tonight.
Yeah. But this
And I'll find that card. I'll remember to do that on the XL.
yeah, just sign on the back of the card. You'll see everybody else has been signing it. I have my live stream on Sunday. We're gonna meet. His name is Jim Honey. He's a knife maker, kind of my mentor, kind of. He mentored me through a lot of my beginning messing around with knives. Makes beautiful knives. I'll show you his. That got me kind of started. But I'm talking to him Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that is gorgeous.
So polished, rounded spine, nice jimping.
What time does that come on? Are you at 4?
It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Gotcha. 7 Central.
Yeah. So he'll be on. It'll
Thank
be a
you,
good
Greg.
conversation. The 2 more designs, the rock copper, the thorn, coming out sometime this year, and a folder. I got a folder in the works with pickled steel, like I was telling you earlier. They saw one of my designs and they wanted to turn it into a folder.
Very
And
cool.
I've seen some renderings, and they're in the middle of making the prototypes right now. So
Exciting, dude.
exciting things coming. It's going to be an interesting year. That is for sure.
And guys, go follow Aries. I'm going to throw his Instagram up here so you can keep up with what's going on. And Scott, I totally appreciate you stopping by, buddy. Anytime you're welcome, just let me know.
Yeah. Thank you for the invite. That is awesome.
Thank
I'm
you
glad
for
you
letting me
like
check out
those
these
2
knives.
knives.
I love them.
Excellent.
I love them.
Yeah. Well, all right. See you, Kyle. See you, Javon.
See you, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Guys, here's Scott's Instagram, which is where I keep up on what he's doing. He's also got an Etsy store. Hey, it showed me posting from Kick. How weird is that? Oh, it showed me posting in Kick and in just kicking it out there with all the 12-year-olds. Let's see if we got anybody watching on Kick. One viewer. Nope, that's just me. Nobody cares. Todd Carr, what's up, brother? Good to see all y'all that I haven't talked to in the chat. And Kyle, I hadn't talked to you much, buddy. You've just been working away down there.
Dude, I'm sore and hurting.
You've been grinding too much. You gonna take any time off this weekend?
Yeah, because once I get this big old chopper thing finished, I'm done. They're getting packaged and sent out first thing in the morning, and then I'm taking the weekend off because, yeah, I knocked out 4 of them yesterday, and it's no fault to his own because we discussed this is a one-time deal because for Blade Show trying to hurry up, but just cutting in all these extra bevels just takes it out of you, man. It's a lot more work. It goes from being a 20 to 30 minute job to an hour and a half job.
Oh, I bet.
And it's a lot of just actually having to use a little more force to get them. So,
Gareth, Kyle, hold your ears. Thank you, brother. I'm turning it all the way down. It ain't gonna matter. So y'all get ready for some Oh, that's so good. Thank you, Gareth. I love you, brother. I know Kyle's
I took my headphones off, but they're open back headphones, so I could still hear it. They're still loud.
I've got to figure out how to go in there and adjust those volumes in the drops. And for a while I could do that. I might have to buy this clip art thing from Microsoft, which sucks, for $6 a month. But there's got to be an easier way.
Yeah, you can find out from there's got to be a Stevie or Maddie might know.
Yeah, it seems like, because I'll get a longer video and clip it up, and there's got to be a way to adjust the volume, because I did it on that one that talks about the Satan stuff. So I think this one's quiet. So if you go to this one I was able to fuck with beforehand.
Warning signs of satanic behavior may be apparent, such as
isn't that one normal volume?
That one's tolerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the content, but the
No, the content's that was a real commercial, dude. You should see the worst one I've got. I can share this.
There you go. We'll read that.
let me find this. See if I can find this very beginning. And I haven't been able to clip this one yet. Let me find it. Hold on. Let me find it. All right.
Today, being retarded means.
Can you hear that music quietly? Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me share it. Let me share it. And this is just in, I happen to see it, so don't hold it against me. I know it's in bad taste. Oops.
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school just like their neighbors.
What the hell?
Home. A supervised home. Right in the neighborhood. But they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.
What the hell is wrong with you, Javon?
I'm just telling you, I'm finding these things. These are actual commercials. I know it's not in good taste. That's why I had to qualify.
And I beg to differ at the last comment because my neighbor says differently.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's a fine line, man. There's some whack ones out there. If you go back in the 50s and 60s, dude, talk about sexist stuff. It is like unbelievable.
Speaking of random things, your package should be there tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Awesome. Dude,
Yeah.
That's exciting. Shayne was like, no, I don't want you sending me that shaman. Just bring it when you come. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I'll get it to you the next day.
Well, that or just wait until you get it. And it's the so the shaman's in there, your Joe Wolf's in there, and that knife sharpener thing for the giveaway we did.
Awesome.
So
And then I'll I'll probably put his scales on tomorrow and film it and say, I don't mind getting it down to him. He's like, dude, you don't have to pay to ship it. It costs $3 to ship to where he lives. And it gets there the next day.
Yeah, but he's not going to use it in the next week before he's going to show. He's busy. So
that's true. That's true. I'll make shorts with it.
There you go.
It ought to be pretty cool though, because it's a lighter delete, like my paramilitary too. I think he's going to like it because it makes it so much lighter.
Yeah. I'm going to be thrilled once this weekend is done. I can relax a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, is this the last one you're sharpening tonight, or do you got several?
No, this is the last one.
Derek, for real, what's up, buddy? Dude, I know he was a good dude. He was my soulmate, but you know, everybody has an expiration date. At least he didn't suffer.
Another one?
No, same dude.
Okay.
Same dude, brother Ab.
Gotcha.
It's weird is his wife reached out to me on Instagram after seeing my post on his memorial page and wanted to talk. So I've got to reach out to her and kind of find out the scoop and what all was going down and kind of get more of the story. I feel like if she reached out, I should at least talk to her.
Yeah. Derek, I'm getting ready to start it. I'd show it off, but you can't see it. So
good to see you, Derek. Good to see all you guys. How far are we from
Fed? Your knife is should be at Joe's, but he's also on vacation this week. But he should be, and I gave him the information you talked about. So
Kyle is S.
I don't know what Todd's trying to say.
It's a riddle. It is an absolute riddle.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be working next week on some things, but not for a little bit. I'll start taking people on again. But
congratulations, Gnarly Charlie.
Yeah, congrats.
Absolute congrats. One day at a time, brother. Keep it up.
Derek, yeah, it's big.
See if Carmex is on. This guy, I've been watching this guy kind of relapse and then get off alcohol and then come back. And he's really a talented kid. But I have a feeling he's on a rough road. Let's see what we got here.
Derek, it's over 10 inches. It's 10 and almost 10 and a half inches long. So yeah, it's big. Todd, these are rush jobs. That's why I'm trying to crank out. I had 11 of them to do. Trying to get them ready for the show.
I forgot the R. Karmic X. Delete. Let me find him. So this is going to be a little diversion break.
Sorry, I'm reading something. I'll be right back.
So this is Karmic X. He's a streamer. He's been streaming for 4 weeks. Got about 10,000 subs. He gets about 300 viewers because he's such a fucking train wreck.
We did that shit. At that point, dude, just come out of the closet and embrace it. Maybe you'll be a happier individual. You don't have to have a facade. You don't have to act like you're... I know, Steel Toe, it just reeks. It oozes. That name itself. It just oozes.
He also does a lot of nose candy too. So he's just he'll go off screen, come back on. He's just a fucking trip, dude. got to enjoy the train wreck every now and then. Derek, he was actually pretty sober there. Usually he gets into the Crown Royal when he drinks, but he was sober for 7 years till he started streaming, which was kind of bad. But he realizes he's got to quit. We'll see how long that lasts.
Todd, that's why I was been sores trying to work through 11 of those bad boys, cutting bevels in.
What kind of machine would you have to have, Kyle, to do that?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, Todd. I do diverge sometimes. Like if you were going to use something besides your TS Prof to cut those bevels, is there a small tool that you could get that would make it easier?
Just a belt grinder would. I mean, I've got a 1x30, but I don't trust it because it's not variable speed. So I'm not worrying about it on these knives because I'm not going to mess up with the heat treat. So
I got you. Stay pizza to drugs. Let's check that out. Let's share it. Man, my trackball's slow.
For what?
My trackball is set for some reason very slow. So when I roll it, it's not rolling worth of shit. That's a great shirt. $59. Yeah, I need to come up with some merch like that. That's good shit. Thanks for sharing, Stevie. Very good shit. So said Stevie, what's on the agenda for tonight? Just the normal shenanigans? I am going to make a flying trip to Taco Bell, and I will be eating Mexican pizzas because I've been craving them for the last 4 days while y'all are on. I look forward to that almost as much as said Stevie. What's an agenda? Good question, Stevie. I have no idea what an agenda is.
So there is going to be one agenda thing. Going to do another knife auction for James, benefiting James tonight.
Hey, not to interrupt you, but I've gotten one little thing that somebody donated to James from one person. I've not talked to Shayne about it, but I need to get a lot of that stuff together to make a spreadsheet for Sunday. I know that's not the auction part, but for the I'll talk to Shayne about that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think most of it's going through him. So
yeah, but I just need the name so I can.
Right. I don't know that, but
yeah, I got you.
Have to get caught up with him to figure that out. So
yeah, because I want to make sure that we pull that off. So what's being auctioned off tonight?
Tonight we're going to be auctioning off one of the, I don't know how to pronounce it. One of these guys. Katuo. One of those soul stones.
One of Bearded Gears, or not Bearded Gear, Bearded Dooms.
Yeah.
Dude, that's an awesome prize for somebody.
Yeah, this was donated in to do an auction, so we're going to do that tonight.
Hey guys, I put a link up. There's all kinds of Bluminata Ninja gear. Fourth Wall. I need to look into them. How's Fourth Wall work? Because I'm not a big fan of Spring. Bluminata, do you have to be a member to use this? What's the out of pocket? Is it $2 a month? I got $10 on a dinner date with Kyle.
Drizzy, you wouldn't have to pay a thing. I'd take you. I'd be honored.
Yeah, I used to think sobriety was overrated, but hangovers are hardcore.
Not overrated at all.
No, I used to think it was in early sobriety, but came to realize that feeling good when you wake up or feeling alive when you wake up is a good thing.
And how much better off you are.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Kyle, you got anything to share? I might drop a little early and run to Taco Bell to get back.
No, that's perfectly fine. I'm just working on knives. Here's the knife that we're going to be
Oh, dude, that's beautiful.
auctioning off on said faction.
And that is in exactly, I want to say 55 minutes.
Yeah,
Something like
basically
that.
1 hour.
All right, kids. I love you all. I hope everybody has a fantastic night. I hope to see all y'all over at Said Faction. I hope to be awake. I will be, and I'll have a gut full of tacos. But guys, look out for the dude to the left. What's that, Kyle?
So I do have one thing I forgot to mention. I was going to tell you people about.
Talk.
Between now and the 27th, there's 15% off all of the cadets, 10% off all the alpha stones, and 29% off all the quick clamps. So
I saw the quick clamps were $99 today. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. That's a good point. I've got to adjust my trackball. All right, let me go to so the clip clamps, you can say $41. They're $99 a set.
Yep.
And what else did you say? The stones?
All the alpha stones are 10% off right now.
Ooh. Even singles.
Yep.
Damn.
And the cadets, the sharpeners are 15% off right now.
That brings them down to blitz prices.
And it's a good price point on those for sure.
Yeah, great. And guys, Kyle's got a code. It is in the description, and it's also scrolling at the bottom. So if you get a chance, use Kyle's code and go check out some of the deals at TS Prof. I think they're as good as they get. I know A to Z was happy to start messing around with mine. Kyle, you got anything, brother?
That's it, man.
Anybody that's a channel member, please stop by tomorrow morning. It'll be quick. I'll have the word up when you get there, and I will draw at 10:45, and somebody will win something cool. A couple of cool things. But look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.
Here the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge